So, hey, what's up to the ASL family? Of course, my co-host and friend Eric,
Hey, what's up? How
as
you
well as
doing?
myself, Alex. And today's a special day on the ASL podcast because we have a great subject. We're talking about gay and straight dating for both you guys, right? And it's talking about friendship and hanging out where we can actually connect with, right?
Yeah.
As well as it's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, brother.
Yeah,
Yes.
so this is a official birthday
Yes.
podcast today, and I'm really excited about we're gonna have dinner after this. But let's get into it right now.
Yeah, let's get into it.
A lot of times as a gay man, automatically my straight friends tell me like, "Oh, I wish I was gay too," and I'm like, "Why?" Like, what do you mean? And they're like, "Well, you guys have it so much easier when it comes to dating." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, you guys just hook up all over the place."
Yeah, that's a stereotype, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, what do you think this is? An episode of Oz? Like,
It's Oz.
jeez Louise. Well, of course I'm older, so I give that reference, but like, do you think that we just have sex? And they're like, yeah, you guys are super sexual. I was like, oh, wow.
Having
They're like,
orgies every night.
Pride, you
Yeah.
guys are like in thongs on like
All ripped. and-
lights. Yeah, always ripped.
Yeah.
Always ripped. And it's just really interesting to me because like for me, especially within my cultural roots as a type person, I feel like a lot of people of color feel this way too as well, that are queer men, that we want that like romance, that southern hospitality, that chivalry, that gentlemanness, and like that's the way I was brought up as a person of diversity and a person of color. And I feel like a lot of men, especially black men that I've met along the way, also want a very similar thing. And of course, like I watch a lot of like K dramas, and they're always like romantic, wearing matching outfits, holding hands. I think it's so sweet. But the thing is that, like, as a gay man, as a queer person, that's extremely hard and rare for queer men. Yes, we get married. Yes, we should be allowed to get married. But at the same time, to find a man in general who wants me to commit a relationship. I know ladies are like, yeah, who wants me to commit a relationship? I need that too. But especially in the gay world, it's extremely difficult. Tell me about your experiences as a straight man.
Yeah, maybe I'm a less of that romanticized vision because like you mentioned the K dramas. Like if you
Yeah.
watch too much of that, then it's not realistic. It's almost a fairy tale. That's why people watch that. It's an escape from reality because always a happy ending. Well, I guess K dramas there's always a triangle.
Everybody loves a happy ending.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not
of
happy
course.
ending. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Well, yeah, okay, that kind of happened. Yeah, okay. Took me a minute there, but yeah, I mean, those K dramas, any Asian drama, Chinese, Japanese, they always have this happy and unrealistic romantic story, right? And which is great to watch. It's fun, and you kind of dream about that, but in reality, you can't really expect it, right? It's kind of just a fantasy, and maybe even if it did happen like that in your real life, you'll be wondering like, wow, is this a fairy tale? I need to pinch me. It doesn't seem real, right? So it's people know it's fiction, yet they kind of expect it in their life. So it's kind of a balance, right? Like, of course, you would love that to happen, but you don't expect it. It's not like this is like the blueprint on how to, how romance happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in that regard, yes. But I think I used to be more of a romantic, like thinking when I was younger about, getting married, having kids and all that. And as I get older, I realize, it may or may not happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm perfectly fine with it. But if it does happen, then yeah, I'm looking forward to it, the journey, the rest of my life. But I'm a bit jaded, perhaps, that I'm thinking it probably won't happen. So I'm just carrying on my day-to-day life, not thinking about it too much. It's not like I wake up in the morning and think, oh man, I'm whatever age I am now. I'm not married. I have no kids. What a loser I am. Like, no, even if I'm single the rest of my life, I wake up, standing tall, my head up high, and just carry on, like just being me. My life isn't about finding true love and romance, because what they say, you go looking for something, you will never find it, and just let it happen. It'll come to you, right? You walk with confidence, you work on yourself, you're the best version of yourself, then good people will come to you, good things will happen to you, and it's just that positive energy. So that's my line of thinking.
So the thing is that, like, what's interesting about that statement, which is cool, I have nothing against that. But the thing is that, like, I feel like the problem that a lot of women in this generation and also gay men face is that by even wanting it, like allowing it to happen, is still an issue, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, is that like I would love to have a partner, you know. And yes, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I was a kid, I used to dream about having my ideal partner and getting married and all this other stuff. But I want the right person.
Yeah.
You know, so when they come along, that'd be amazing. But at the same time, like, you know, I welcome it. But I think the problem is that not a lot of people welcome that. Like once they have it,
Yeah.
they're all like, no, thank you. I'm not into commitment. I'll ghost the fuck out of you. You know, like things like that. And I feel like that's the underlying problem that a lot of us are having today, is that in this generation, they're doing stats on it. Ghosting is not even considered shameful anymore. It's a pretty normal thing. Not wanting to be in a relationship is a very normal thing nowadays. And for someone of diversity like me that has immigrant parents, like these are things that I was born up with. Like, my parents were together for many, many years. And I'm hoping that eventually I'll find a person. But of course, when they come, not right away, because it still has to be the right person, right? But I always welcome it when it does come. And I feel like it has to be a happy medium.
Yeah.
You know, you're not searching for it, but you're welcoming it when it does arrive. But still, this is a problem today, that what people are saying online is that not a lot of people are welcoming it once they finally have it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are jaded these days, and
Yeah.
it could be because of the apps, just the easy come, easy go mentality, where they just meet a ton of scumbags. You know, either way, it could be men and women, right? And they're just sick of it. So I know a lot of men that, you know, they're tired of, you know, women or just screwing them over, and just,
It works
you know,
both ways, guys.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's women that are bad. Both men and women. Just people
Yes,
are sick
exactly.
of it. Like, women are sick of these players, douchebags. Men are tired of women bossing them
players
around.
too. Yeah,
of
you're right.
course. Yeah. So both ways. And they just like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go casual, right? Or maybe not even date at all. Just do your own thing. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, do your own thing. If someone comes in your life, that's great. But don't wake up thinking, oh, man, I'm so lonely. And, you know, and I mean, people these days do a lot of hookups and casual, friends with benefits, things like that. So if they ever get the urge, you know, they have an outlet for that without having a commitment, right? Of course, that can get messy too. You know, eventually somebody catches feelings. But, you know, I think it's not a full-fledged relationship, because a relationship takes a lot of commitment. And if they just want, you know, one thing, there's nothing wrong with that one thing. Like, people make that so taboo. Like, if somebody just wants that, they're like an evil person. Oh, how could you? How dare you? That's the only thing you want. Like, well, we all want that, right?
Yeah.
Everyone loves it. So if both are in agreement, if that's what you're after, then that's great. But in order to have a full-fledged commitment in a relationship, that's a whole nother level, which a lot of people aren't willing to put the time into, the effort. And it doesn't make them a bad person. They just don't have the energy and the time to deal with it, right? And if from where I stand, I'm not going to commit to something if I can't put my full effort into it. So I'm not going to say, hey, you want to be my girlfriend or whatever, and just half-ass it, you know, like be like Guy, piece of my love, you know?
Yeah.
So I would have to give my full-hearted commitment into it, and if I can't offer that, then I won't at all, right? So, yeah, that's just the way I see it. But I know some people just jump into relationships when they're not ready.
Yeah.
They're probably not even committed.
Yeah.
But, you know, they think it looks cool. Hey, I have this hot dime piece right here next to me. You know, just
dime piece.
Yeah.
Oh. Old urban hip hop knowledge. I love
that's
that.
right, yep.
That's what I used to
Shorty,
call.
you a 10. A 10. Yeah, but yeah, so maybe I just do that to, you know, have this hot girl next to me, but I'm not really committed to her. But then that's not fair, to, you know. Oh, that
Exactly.
was some weird lighting. It went dark and.
I know. It's okay. The weather's interesting. So I'll read two stats right now. One's from Quora, okay? And it's saying that dating between the queer community, particularly the gay male relationship community, not community, gay,
No, it could be a
gay male
community.
community, as well as dating in the heterosexual community. Oh my gosh, why am I saying community so many times, right? So the difference between dating in the gay male community and the straight male community is that typically, on average, not saying all, but most, Most straight males, when they're dating women like to not have sex on the first date and get to know the person as opposed to having sex right away.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's totally different in the gay male community, and I want to know how you, as well as the audience, feels about this. So, in the gay community, they're saying that actually a person is not willing to even pursue a dating situation or a relationship unless they have sex on the first date.
Well, doesn't that lend more to the stereotype that gay guys just hump around and like what you mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that they would put out that easily, it would make them seem like everyone's a hoe, right?
Why buy the milk when you can free? I mean, listen, okay, either or, there's nothing wrong with either or, but I do want to say that it's kind of discerning that is the majority. Like, there's no happy medium, right? Because I do feel like if you're being in a polyamorous relationship or an open relationship, that's totally fine. But I also think that we should take the time to get to know each other. For example, if you're basing a relationship or want to date someone on the first night, I can guarantee you some of you and a lot of you are not going to get into a relationship, because I want to tell you why. So when I was with my ex-fiance, I had an ex-partner before, and I loved him so much. We were together for 6 years, okay? Our first night was horrible, okay? It was horrendous. Not because he was a bad person, but because we were both excited and into each other, but we were also scared and awkward, right? Because when you're into someone, you can watch any movie, any drama, and realize that when someone's really into someone, they kind of get shy. They kind of get awkward.
Yeah.
This is a very natural thing.
But there's more pressure.
There is more pressure, right? Because you want to... you want to impress that other person. And when you want to impress that other person, you get nervous and you get shy.
Yeah.
So here's the problem with that, okay? You guys, when you base everything on sex the first time around, on the first date, right? And you get shy and nervous, sex may not be great.
No, you get stage fright.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens to us all, the best of us.
Yeah. So if you're basing it just on sex within a relationship, and it's only on the first night, you could lose out on someone amazing. And let me tell you exactly what happened. So we didn't base, as this gay man, not majority, but as this gay man, we didn't base sex on the first night. So we kept on dating. And
but you did do it on the first night.
We did, because we wanted to meet the stereotype, apparently, or whatever, So we did
you
the
didn't
first
break
night.
the mold. You were
but the thing is that we were by the gay book, the book of gay, and we did the first night. It was awkward, but I liked him, and he liked me, and that was, again, like that EQ, that emotional quotient was there. I look forward to hearing his voice. I look forward to texting him, to calling him every day. So we spent another 2 weeks together, and we did it again. And I want to tell you something.
The second time was magical.
It was fucking Disney magical. It was amazing. Yeah. We were so much more. We learned how to be comfortable around each other.
Yeah.
We connected, not just physically, but emotionally as well, because we took the time to really get to know each other and made sex that much better, So, like, I encourage everyone, especially gay men and queer people in general, as well as heterosexual people, go for more than just the first night.
Yeah.
Because the first night is not going to be a determining factor of how sex can be for the rest of your life with that person.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so for me, like, I can say that...
And we get a little bit brighter because it got super dark out of nowhere.
Yeah. So, of all the dates that I've been on, not once did we do it on the first night.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, I never even pursued it because I already know that chances of... But maybe if I did aggressively push it without crossing the boundaries, of course, then, there's a possibility. But I don't think, I wouldn't even have wanted that. That's not what I'm looking for when I go out with... Unless it's a hookup, that's different. But if you're talking about actual date, like someone I like, potential partner, then no, I wouldn't even push it on the first date. But I guess some people might just to see if the girl would. But I don't know if they use that as a gauge to see whether they're easy or whether they are potential or not. Because maybe some guys would think, oh, this girl's too easy. She's not girlfriend material.
Yeah.
So every guy thinks differently. And, of course, every girl is different, too. So even if she does put out on the first night, it doesn't mean that she's a slut or whatever, right?
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think from what you're saying with the gay men is that usually stereotypically the guy would be the aggressive one, right? So with the testosterone, they'd be the one pushing.
Boom.
Yeah. So even in a heterosexual relationship, say usually it would be the guy that would try to pursue it on the first date if it happens.
Yeah.
So when you get two guys together, I guess it's just too much testosterone in one room, and it just can't be contained, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, definitely take some time to get to know each other, right? The first day shouldn't be the end all be all of everything, okay? And also, so that was one stat again, who's more sexual. I'm sorry to say, based on stats, it's true. Not all of you, but a majority of you have sex on the first date and determine even whether you're going to date someone or not on the first day of sex, which is, to me, I'm sorry, man, we have to, as a gay community, take more time and develop our EQ better, okay?
Well, let me ask you something on the flip side. What if the guy refused to put out? Would that be a negative on his, like a black mark? Oh, this guy's, not down to,
Not for me, but for some gay men, yes. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, because I have refused on the first night. I'm like, you got to work for this dick.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't put out that easily, right?
You can't just get this for free.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, it happens, and they were just straight up like, well, if we're not gonna do it the first night, we're not gonna date anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well then, bye, bitch. Bye, Karen. Bye, basic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing, like, this is the reality. I think that whether you're in a straight relationship or a gay relationship, you should respect your partner and respect their boundaries regardless. And that's why I think it's so important that we learn how to give more than just a first date as a way of getting to know someone. The second step, I'm going to say this really quick because we're going to end the live pretty soon because, again, it's my birthday. We have to make dinner as well as it's getting really dark right now. We're starting to be vampires. So the second one is that it is different in a way that with heterosexual couples, they can go on a date. It's normal. We learned that it's normal from the beginning. But for queer relationships, especially gay relationships, right? We're often overly conscious because people seeing us together, holding hands, kissing, things like that is not the norm. Now, I'm not really into like a lot of public affection, but like even going on a date and like getting to know someone in an intimate way is very taboo because you don't normally do that with man to man, right? So there are social, social issues with gay versus straight.
Do you still think it's that way? Like maybe 10, 20 years ago, but each day that passes, it gets more and more acceptable.
It does. It's way more acceptable now than it was before. But I do have to admit, like, if I were to hold a guy's hand, like, especially down the street where we live, it's not...
Walking down the hood.
Yeah, it's like, and I think it depends on, like, your privilege or not. Like, if you live in San Francisco, that's normal. Yeah. But if you live somewhere else, right, let's just be real. Like, not every area is San Francisco. Not every area is a major city. So you're going to reach those issues and they're going to come out.
Yeah. So have you gotten issues with that? Like just people giving you looks or even saying something or...
I get so intense. Like I remember, like I'll say this one last one before we head out. But I remember I was with this Japanese guy and I was holding his hand and he was really cautious. He's like, like what if they see us? Like what if they say something to us? And people were kind of like, like what's going on there? Like they weren't mean, but they were just like, what's that? It looked abnormal to them, right? Because they're not used to it. And kids would be like, oh my gosh, those boys are holding hands. Oh my gosh. And then my partner was like, what if they do something violent? And then I'm not going to lie. Like this, I think a part of my New York side was like, what, if they even touch you, if they even fucking say something to you, I'll be all up in their face. And I was just really intense.
Well, you're probably bigger than everyone too, so.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll protect you, babe. I got you. I'll knock them out, stuff like that. Not every guy's like that, gay or straight, to be honest. But it was a circumstance where I had to be extra, and I realized that he also was like, if it weren't for you being bigger, and he knew at a point that I could protect him, and he trusted that, and he had a right to trust because I would protect him. But at the same time, those are things you think about when you're a gay man out in public dating.
Yeah, I think these days with the younger generation, especially, it does seem more acceptable because I see the way the kids act, the way they dress, and everything. There's blurring the lines with the masculine and feminine. Like it's just like you mentioned a while back, like Bad Bunny, like kissing other guys and acting sus, as the kids would say these days. And it seems like being gay is not as taboo anymore. Whether they're gay or not, some people aren't even gay; they're straight, but they act kind of gay.
Yeah.
Or
well, I know on social media it is, but like I'm not gonna lie. I think we live, especially I live in the area. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but I have to be real. I live in an urban area. It's not just a major city. Again, I'm not in San Francisco. I think people of privilege that have wealthier incomes, they can afford to feel more comfortable when they go out. I think when you live in these areas, like I know for a fact, if you were somewhere else that was a small town, being gay would be way more taboo.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's probably why they'd move out of that small town, like in a country town somewhere where maybe they're more old-fashioned, not as progressive. Nothing wrong with that, but it's just that it's probably their lifestyle is not as acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So I just want to end the podcast because it's officially super dark right now. We are looking like ex-convicts that have just came out of jail. Blur my face out. Blah, 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 blah. So sorry. We're like one of those people on the true crime documentaries. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast. Let us know what your thoughts are on gay as well as straight relationships and the differences, and also your opinions and ideas. And we'll talk to you guys all later. Thanks for being part of the podcast. Bye, everyone.